Tigerella by Kit Wright. Tigerella. Ella. Ella was nice at the barbecue party. Everything Ella did was right. She handed round the sausages and didn't give the dog a fright. She didn't tease the old tomcat or stamp on old Mr. Rathbone's hat. She never ever did things like that, as some would have thought she might. No, Ella was fine at the barbecue party. Ella was quite all right. Good as gold and nice as pie, she sweetly kissed each guest goodbye, and they all said, "Ella, it's been a pleasure. Ella, aren't you a little treasure? We're just so sorry we have to go." But little did they know. They didn't know at all that at the midnight stroke Ella stirred in her bed, and a changed Ella woke, with a furry kind of growl, and hide of yellow and black, and whiskers and golden eyes, and a tail at the end of her back. Softly she loped down the midnight stairs. In the breathing dark her eyes shone bright, and she poured herself from the open window onto the lawn in the mad moonlight. Tigerella she was, Tigerella her name, a giant cat of the jungle, by moonlight she became. Rippling over the silver grass, she left no mark, she made no sound. On she moved with flowing shoulders, wild one, on the midnight ground. Easily as her shadow, she glided over the wall. She raised her head in the cornfield, seeing, scenting all. And then she was gathering pace through the whispering barley, running, racing, the beat of her heart in tune, with the earth and the night and the creatures, until she coiled and leapt and bit a piece from the rolling moon. She cuffed the stars about, Tigerella at play, how she biffed them, how she baffed them, how she skittered them, how she scattered them, up and down the Milky Way. And soon, through the bright star clusters, she was travelling on. By glittering constellations, she sailed at the side of the Swan, over the great calm lake of space, until she soared, and face to face and paw to paw, she found the bear, and they jumbled and tumbled everywhere. They tussled and hustled, wrestled and nestled, two beasts playing together there. But mighty Orion the hunter gazed at the stars below. Mighty Orion the hunter raised his shimmering bow. He sent an arrow whizzing down like a silver streak through the billion bits of the heavens and grazed Tigerella's cheek. So Tigerella turned and raced in its track. She caught it, and she wheeled and hurled the arrow back. And then they were diving down through the huge unknown. Wild star cities they touched and they tumbled beyond, as they fell through the brain of the night, until they landed on tingling paws by Ella's garden pond. They lapped the water. They licked each other's faces. "See you again," they said. So long, take care." Then Tigerella poured herself through the window, and up to his home in the heavens soared the bear. Ella was nice and polite at breakfast. Ella sat primly at her place. Her mother said, "Ella, did you sleep all right, dear? What's that scratch there on your face?" Ella said, "Oh, naughty old tomcat did it." "Did he? That wicked so-and-so?" "Yes," said Ella. "Yes, he did." And little did they know. The end. Dolphinella by Kit Wright. Dolphinella. Ella went for a picnic down by the riverside, where the waters roll on the foaming stones and the small white flowers hide. Sun stole through the branches that made a green umbrella, and the people talked and talked and talked, but nobody talked to Ella. Nobody told a secret that Ella wanted to keep. Ella was bored, and Ella was tired, so Ella fell asleep. She dreamed she was in the river, swimming on out to sea, when altogether a different thing Ella began to be. Began to be a grain-shaped nosing on through the climbing waves, where the great grey ocean makes its house of mountains and of caves. For Ella grew in the breakers, rubbery, silk, and strong, and her feet became a whacking tail, and her arms were flippers to flap and flail as smoothly she raced along. Dolphinella she was, with a gang of dolphins round her, leaping her back and brushing her fin, so very happy they'd found her. They swam along by a power boat, and the people leaned over the side and laughed as Dolphinella walked on her tail, or she hitched a ride on the churning waves at the bow that made her swoop and surf and glide. Then Dolphinella went diving down on her own, down to the deep, dark ocean floor, where strange eyes watched from the drapes of weed, and weird things moved at their own slow speed, till she slipped through a rocky door. And there on his throne sat Neptune, king of the sea, the one that all of the ocean feared, with his jeweled crown and his streaming beard and his wild green eyes as angry as they could be. "Oh, who has stolen my stout sea boot that kept the toes of my left foot dry, my leg's own wonderful warm wetsuit when the pounding waves came shivering by?" "Oh, I am the one to find that boot and bear it home to your deep-sea cellar. Leave it to me," said Dolphinella. She flapped her flippers and whacked her tail and sped off on the sea boot trail, while mighty Neptune, king of the deep blue sea, sat there scratching his head. "There was a dolphin here, it seemed to me, and what was that she said?" Meanwhile, Dolphinella nosed round the bones of a wreck where skeletons lay, and she peered under stones, and she looked in the weed. There were crawly creatures, yes indeed, but there wasn't a boot. No way. Until she slipped round a big green rock and spied the boot with a conger eel inside. "Sorry, conger, that home's not yours," she said, and she flipped him out of doors. Back with the boot to Neptune's cave she went. "Oh, thank you," Neptune cried. "Now I'll give you a precious gift to bear home on the foaming tide." And out of his crown he plucked a shining jewel and tucked it under her flipper to keep. "Thank you, Neptune," said Dolphinella, and swam off up from the dark of the deep. And her dolphin friends said, "Nice to see you again!" And the folks in the boat all yelled, "She's back, yippee!" As she swam on up the bendy river, a different thing she began to be. And Ella woke on the river bank. Her mother said, "Ella, you were sleeping, dear. Where did you get that bright blue pebble? It's a lovely one. Did you find it here?" "My, you're a clever old sleepyhead." "It isn't a pebble," Ella said. "It's a jewel." The end.